call Catherine Delahunty, 5 minutes.
Kia ora, Mr Speaker. He mihi nui ki te whare paramata. Mr Speaker, welcome to the glorious 19th century. Dressed up in the not-so-new flexibility speak. At the final moment of this bill, let's drop the charade. The government has a clear goal to remove basic organising rights for working people, reduce wages and reduce union power. I'm holding up a broken cup today. This broken cup symbolises the tea break rights are broken. It's not an accident that the cup is broken. The purpose of the law is to entrench the power of employers to decide what happens in the workplace, from bargaining participation down to the tea break. If anyone wants to strike about this, book it in the diary and promise you will be back at work at a set time, not when the power balance has been restored. That's what this bill's about. Let's not forget, in the glorious 19th century, that slavery increased production. It was very flexible, incredibly flexible. The employers were flexible. So long as the slaves didn't expect anything, it was fine. The broken teacup is only one part of the awful Dickensian plan. But one of the problems we face is that younger citizens don't know what unions are, let alone read Charles Dickens. That is one of the challenges in the 21st century with this 19th century approach. The broken cup represents the breach of the vestiges of good faith left in the employment relationship. The attacks on multi-employer collective, industry standards, rest and meal breaks, strikes and lockouts, 30-day rule for new employees, restructuring, lack of protection for restructuring and more. These are all losses of rights being deliberately created. And the privileged don't need to understand them. And the contracted people in the middle classes and the low-wage workers often don't even realise they are losing them. So let's get down to brass tacks, concrete issues such as others have talked about. A friend of mine works in a bakery at a supermarket and her current tea break consists of 10 minutes. But it takes 10 minutes to walk to the tea room. So it's already quite academic. Yeah, her employer's not very concerned about that. She stands up the rest of the time. She's not allowed to sit down in the bakery. They stand up. Then she gets to walk for 10 minutes to the tea room and then her tea break's over. This bill will now remove the charade and prevent any pressure on her employer to actually provide a tea break at all. It's really going to work for the employer. Today, workplace safety was exposed as another charade in the ports around this country. But the contracting culture and the weakening of collective organising means that no one is ultimately responsible now for the safety of workers in what need not be a dangerous place. This applies to forestry as well as ports, which has a hideous and a very recent growing record of workplace death. Perhaps a cup of tea might be a good idea for this whole House in this legislation. Perhaps a tea break on this assault on workers' rights. Perhaps if we all took the breather in the cup of tea and actually had a bit of a think about what it's like for other people and showed some empathy for people who are vulnerable in their workplaces. However, people and rights can be broken, as this cup has been. But if this speeds up production, eliminates collective strength and facilitates employer power to work away from fair negotiation, that might sound all right for some people. For others, it is literally a disaster. For the benefit of people with no imagination and no experience of unfair power balances in their workplace, and myself after 10 years in a shearing gang, I could talk to you quite a lot about that, the value of collective organising is lost on them, so I need to spell it out. Everyone, except greedy employers, benefits when people have rights at work and the right to stand together for fair wages and conditions. The Green Party says to working people of this country, this bill may try and break your cup, but we will stand beside you. There is a positive solution to employment relationships. It's called justice and respect. Respect for collective bargaining, fair wages and conditions, and a good cup of tea. Everyone benefits from that working environment. Higher wages, great working conditions, a recognition of the need to balance power results in better relationships. And better relationships is what makes everything work. Therefore, Mr Speaker, the Green Party is ashamed of the government for this bill, and we will never support such legislation.
Is expired? I call